Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 271 based on novel. So let's start. After instructing Xiao Yan and others, Xiao Yan left the burning valley alone and quickly flew all the way to the northwest. Li Bingrui wanted to follow, but Liana stopped him and got along with him for a few days. Surprisingly, Li Bingrui had some tenderness for this Nizi Dao. When they get along, they can see a rare smile on Li Bingrui's cold cheeks that have remained unchanged for thousands of years. Compared with the past, Xiao Yang rushed to the southwest border much faster this time. In just a few days, Xiao Yang's body appeared in the Liutsang city they passed when they rushed to the extreme south. After a brief chat with the old man of the Liu family, Xiao Yang continued to rush to the southwest border. This time, Xiao Yang's purpose is a wild ancient city. Looking at Xiao Yang's back after he left, Liu Yai's muddy old eyes were inexplicably regretful. He didn't take the opportunity to make friends with him at the beginning. Who would have thought that Xiao Yang had grown into such a situation in just 3 years, and even had a relationship with the once strongest force in the extreme south, Fenyan Valley? Yes, it was today's Fenyan Valley. Under the joint suppression of the two major sects, the inside information is already much worse than before. It seems that it has fallen from the position of overlord in the far south. However, the skinny camel is bigger than the horse. Moreover, now the two have not yet fought a decisive battle with the burning valley, and everything is unknown. Therefore, it is not too late to choose to stand in line now. Longevity, it seems that it's time for my Liu family to choose. When Xiao Yang left Liu Kangcheng, in just a few hours, the once familiar ancient city appeared in the sight of his heart again. The wild ancient city is here. When I came to the wild ancient city, those familiar faces came out of Xiao Yang's mind involuntarily. Now when I think about it, I feel that things are right and people are wrong. A moment later, Xiao Yang's body was already outside the medicine refining guild. Although he had not entered it, with today's huge soul power, Xiao Yang had clearly detected two very familiar smells, which were owned by Jiu Li and Red Phosphorus. After years of not seeing each other, their accomplishments have reached the level of transforming the source territory. It can be said that they are not weak in the southwest border. Of course, what they are proud of is their medicine refining skills. Now these two people seem to have become fourth-order medicine refiners. There are no disputes in the city. Over the years, the Medicine Refiner Association has been well organized. At this moment, Xiao Yang made a simple exploration. There are 2 fourth-order herbalists in the guild, and there are quite a few third-order herbalists. It can be said that today's herbalist guild is more prosperous than at the beginning. While Xiao Yang detected their breath in the guild, Jiu Li and Red Phosphorus also noticed a trace of the same. Of course, if Xiao Yang deliberately concealed it, they would not be able to find it, but it was unnecessary. I don't know which elder came to our herbalist guild. I'm late. I hope you'll forgive me. Then, outside the guild, several figures appeared in front of Xiao Yang one after another in the street. As soon as they appeared, they bowed respectfully to the people in front of them. This scene also made all the pedestrians on the street look at it. These people who appeared on the street at the moment were rare figures of the Medicine Refining Guild, but I didn't expect to show up together at the moment and put on this humble posture, which could not help but make the eyes of the people focus on the young man in black standing in front of them in an instant. Hehe, 2 presidents, I haven't seen you for many years. How are you recently? Immediately, an inexplicably familiar clear laughter came into Jiu Li's ears. At first, the sound stunned them, but then, in the depths of their minds, a figure that they could not forget emerged quietly. At the same time, the 2 presidents raised their heads slowly with trembling, and then a familiar face, that is, they slowly fit together with the figure in their mind at the moment. You are Xiao Yang. President Jiu Li, is everything all right in recent years? Xiao Yang smiled warmly, walked forward 2 steps and stroked with his big sleeve. Several people in front of him were helped up by an invisible force. Suddenly, the expression in the eyes of several people present was changed, and the eyes of the 2 fourth-order herbalists behind him were even more surprised. Ha ha ha, good, everything is fine. It's you guy who hasn't come back to visit us since he left. I thought you forgot our two old bones. Seeing that the person in front of him was Xiao Yang, the two elders couldn't help but show a surprised look. They were much more excited when talking. The two behind them were shocked when they saw the young Xiao Yang in front of them. They often heard the two presidents mention that Xiao Yang, who is now famous in the southern region, was the chief refiner of their Drug Refiners Association. They still don't believe it, but now when they see it, they can't help being suspicious. Listening to the words of the two in front of him, Xiao Yang had to smile. To tell the truth, since he returned to the southern region, he has been entangled in all kinds of matters. Even now he returns to the wild ancient city, he still comes to burn Yang Valley and two wars, which Xiao Yang can't explain. After a while of nostalgia between the two sides, the two elders originally wanted to ask Xiao Yangjin Guild to talk in detail, but Xiao Yang refused. When they saw the helpless look on Xiao Yang's face, they were relieved. After all, they also heard a lot about burning Yengu. They were not in the bureau, so it was difficult to understand the meaning. If they said something forced, it would be bad for them. After saying goodbye to the two elders, Xiao Yang went to Union Pavilion to meet the Shenlaro again. After a simple nostalgia, Xiao Yang came to the final destination of this trip to the wild ancient city, the courtyard in the south of the city. This used to be the place where Luo Ao lived temporarily. Although Luo Ao has now returned to the central region, some people still stay here, or another world. Shunling clan. Although Luo Ao leaves, it is impossible to take them away. The Shunling family has avoided the world for many years and will not easily return to the middle region. With the jade card in his hand, Xiao Yang opened the entrance to the spirit world again. Immediately, he lifted his feet and stepped in. In the vast world, when the void is suddenly distorted, the green trees in the depths of the mountains and forests are also instantly aware of the changes here. When Luo Ao was leaving, he clearly told him about the time to come back next time, but it's too early now, and that breath doesn't seem to belong to Luo Ao he knows well, so. Enemy attack. In addition to Luo Ao holding a special jade card that can enter the spirit world, no one can enter his spirit world so easily. In addition, the only way is to intervene forcibly, which shows that it is a strong person from the outside who found his spirit family, which is intended to invade. When his heart was shocked and his face changed dramatically, Aoki quickly sent out a signal. Then, in the depths of the spirit world, several rays of light rose into the sky, and one by one, there were 32 light pillars standing between heaven and earth. Those were the 32 spirit guards of the spirit family. However, when Aoki and the 32 spirit guards stood at the entrance where the energy fluctuation occurred, a young figure dressed in black appeared slowly in their tight expression. We haven't seen each other for a long time, so there's no need for such a big battle. Looking at a large area of angry eyes in front of him, Xiao Yang's figure just appeared could not help but solidify in an instant, and he couldn't help but be a little frightened at the bottom of his heart. Then he smiled and put on an innocent expression, but this scene turned all the Shunling people present into stone in an instant. In the spirit world, a large group of people looked at Xiao Yang, who was innocent in front of him. They were all helpless. Even Aoki's old face couldn't help showing an embarrassing color. With the flow of time, he forgot that in addition to Luo Ao, Xiao Yang also had a jade card that could enter his spirit world. After a short embarrassing time, Aoki walked forward with a kind smile, looked up and down at Xiao Yang, nodded and said, "Yes, haha, I haven't seen you for many years. My accomplishments have reached such a level. It's natural to see the accomplishments of King Shaoyan Baxingyuan at a glance based on the accomplishments of Qingmu now. With such accomplishments at such an age, it can be called particularly powerful among the younger generation." After several polite jokes, Xiao Yang saw Qingfeng's eager appearance in the void not far away. Obviously, he believed in the actual results more than Aoki's boast. Hey, if you don't fight, let me see how strong you are now. I'm going to be moldy after these years of boring cultivation." Seeing Qingfeng like this, Qingmu shook his head and smiled. He didn't mean to object. Instead, he turned his head and handed back the option to Xiao Yang. With the strength of the latter, he is no longer the ignorant kid at the beginning. He naturally has his own decision whether to fight or not. Moreover, for today's Shunling family, He doesn't want to be bound by the rules of Taijuo. After all, as for the strong, only in the continuous battle can we obtain more cultivation results. Motionless cultivation is not a good way to become the strong, nor can we protect such a large spirit-participating family for him. Seeing this, Xiao Yang pursed his mouth and smiled. He was not polite immediately. His toes gently touched the ground, and his body shape swept up in the air. He slowly stretched out his right hand and made an invitation gesture. Good boy, I'm polite to my host. You're polite, but I'm not polite. Be careful. Qingfeng laughed, his heart moved, and the source gas in his body surged rapidly. At the same time, his body shape appeared in front of Xiao Yang in an instant. As soon as his palm turned over, the green and thick source gas in the palm of his hand immediately condensed into one palm and blasted at Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's face did not change. He saw the palm in front of him. When his steps changed, his body was slightly on one side. Qingfeng's palm passed in front of Xiao Yang. Then the next moment, the other hand grabbed back, bent his 5 fingers and rushed at Xiao Yang's chest. Shua. However, when Qingfeng's palm passes through Xiao Yang's body, not only the former, but also the other Shenling people present, and even Qingmu at the moment, the expression on his face changes in an instant. Even Qingmu can't bear to be surprised at such a fast speed, and he thinks to himself. If so, how much chance can he win compared with Xiao Yang? This little fellow, the growth over the years is not a bit. Looking at Xiao Yang, who easily escaped Qingfeng's successive attacks in the sky, Qingmu couldn't help but exclaim. At the same time, Qingfeng turned his body again and looked at Xiao Yang not far behind him. He laughed. When his body rushed, his right hand suddenly waved, and the emerald green light in his eyes suddenly appeared. Then, when Qingmu came to Xiao Yang, the ground below suddenly cracked, and the green vines quickly spread towards the sky. In the twinkling of an eye, they turned into a snare and surrounded Xiao Yang. Hey, it's fast, but you can't hide this time. Let's do it. With a wave of Qingfeng's 2 hands, the vines were immediately controlled and quickly entangled towards Xiao Yang like a poisonous snake. The latter kept avoiding the invasion of the vines with the help of his body shape. At the same time, he also freely responded to Qingfeng's fierce attack. No matter how Qingfeng exploded, under Xiao Yang's golden elephant decision, all the attacks were ignored. But in the end, those vines completely entangled Xiao Yang. Both limbs and head were wrapped by vines layer by layer, and each hand and foot was pulled and bound by a vine. The whole person seemed to be put into a big word. If you were an ordinary person, it would be difficult to break free under such control. Well, admit defeat. Qingfeng grinned. Once his body is bound and controlled by these vines, he will lose his ability to move. If he can't move, how can he fight with him? Oh, really, brother Qingfeng, your vine doesn't work for me. However, just as Qingfeng grinned, Xiao Yang, who was wrapped by vines, smiled slightly. Immediately after that, a violent color suddenly swept over his dark eyes. His 2 palms pulled by vines suddenly grasped it with force, and the bound body was suddenly shocked at the moment, and the dazzling golden light was immediately released from Xiao Yang. The light quickly penetrated through layers of vines, and cracks also spread. Bang! Then, the vines wrapped around Xiao Yang were shocked by Xiao Yang's decision, but before Qingfeng could make any more moves, Xiao Yang's light laughter came into his ears. Brother Qingfeng, now, I'll do it. With a laugh, Xiao Yang's body suddenly appeared in front of Qingfeng. The 5 fingers of his right hand rotated and clenched into a fist. Then he hit it with a violent fist. At the moment of the sound explosion, Qingfeng's body immediately retreated. At the same time, he controlled more vines to block in front of him to form a round shield. He wanted to block Xiao Yang's fist. Bang! Xiao Yang smashed the shield with a fist. The shield burst after only a few breaths. Then, in a burst of voices from the people around him, he hit Qingfeng's chest with a fist. His powerful power burst out in an instant. Unexpectedly, he directly blew his body out of 100 feet away. Well, who won now? Xiao Yang came down and smiled. His face was light and cloudless. With the power he now had, under the Yuan Emperor, he was confident that he would be able to fight with one of the 4 saints by virtue of the 4 saints. If he tried to source qi, I'm afraid it would be nothing to beat the ordinary Yuan Emperor's strong. Hey, you're better than I thought, but it's not over yet. Let's try this. Hearing the speech, Qingfeng, who was a little laborious, laughed, and then his heart moved. In the earth below, vines broke through the earth again, quickly crossed and condensed, and in the twinkling of an eye, they turned into a solid dark green vine stick in his hand. Starting with the rattan stick, Qingfeng even injected his own source gas crazily into it. After some rotation, his body jumped up. At the same time, the rattan stick in his hand also raised over his head. After a long roar, he immediately fell down. Xiao Yang, eat me, ferris stick. When the rattan stick fell, the emerald green light on it became more and more intense. The whole rattan stick also soared with the wind. The strong wind pressure made a deep pit appear on the ground below. When it came to Xiao Yang's head, it seemed to become a huge long stick with a length of tens of feet and a width of tens of feet. Regardless of its authority or power, it reached an extremely terrible situation. Such a blow, I'm afraid that the ordinary Yuan Emperor's strong see, and don't dare to underestimate it easily. Did this guy release his card directly? The ferris stick is the boy's card. If this stick goes down, Xiao Yang is afraid. Seeing this, Qingmu couldn't help frowning, but he was worried. At the same time, he secretly scolded Qingfeng for his recklessness in the face of his friends. Immediately, when Qingmu was running with the source gas in his body, he caught a glimpse of Xiao Yang's hot face at the moment. There was a purple flame flashing in his eyes and the source gas in his body also turn around at this time. The boy hasn't done his best yet. Seeing this scene, Aoki was surprised, and the rotation speed of the source chi in his body slowed down. It seems that his worry is superfluous. Giant elephant. With a startling roar, Xiao Yang's golden body suddenly appeared. At the same time, with a sudden wave of his big hand, the raging purple flame immediately condensed into an equally huge and magnificent ruler between his palms. When he looked up, he saw the startling stick above his head. However, Xiao Yang was not afraid, but grinned and immediately followed. The soles of the feet stepped heavily on the ground, and when the earth collapsed under their feet, the huge ruler of fire in their hands suddenly waved out, which drew a startling magnificent ruler and awe in the shocked eyes of everyone around them, and collided with the ferris stick. Bang! At the moment of the sound of the collision between the two, the whole world trembled uncontrollably. An invisible wave of energy swept through the place where the two collided. Everyone present also trembled in their hearts, and their faces were even more shocked. Just a few minutes later, the people present were even more unbelievable to see that under the terrible high temperature of the huge flame, the ferris stick was slowly split by the raging fire. With Xiao Yang's two arms waving the huge flame in his hand, the ferris stick was quickly wrapped in the flame. When Qingfeng let go, the flame soared rapidly, and the ferris stick collapsed inch by inch. After, it turned into a rain of fire and burned out. In the spirit world, at the end of World War I, everyone was full of shock. It's hard to imagine that even though Qingfeng has made every effort and even used his cards, he is still not Xiao Yang's opponent. His combat strength is too terrible. In this regard, Xiao Yang put the blame on different fire. After all, their attributes are contrary to each other. Qingfeng's rattan stick is just restrained by Xiao Yang's different fire, but those present are not fools. Although what Xiao Yang said is indeed somewhat reasonable, it is only one aspect after all. If they do not rely on their own strong strength, even if different fire helps them, it is impossible to break Qingfeng's skyscraper stick so easily. However, these are no longer important. Now the victory and defeat of the two have been divided. What should be discussed next is Xiao Yang's coming to the spirit world again. Deep in the mountain forest, in front of the cabin with the same environment, Xiao Yang and Qingmu sat opposite each other. There was green tea on the table in front of him. Qingfeng was sitting lazily on a nearby bluestone with boring eyes. He would tease the ants on the ground from time to time, and his mouth gave a lovely silly laugh. Hey, little guy, I haven't seen you for years. I've grown up a lot. I think Qingfeng was already a strong fighter when you were half emperor. Now, your cultivation is much better than him. I'm glad for you. Qingmu slowly picked up the tea on the table, took a sip and smiled. Thank you for your concern. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yan quickly arched his hand at Qingmu. The latter looked careless. He gently raised his hand and signaled Xiao Yang not to be polite. After putting down the teacup, he spoke again and said, "I know that you must have suffered a lot outside. It's not easy to exchange your strength. Of course, the blood and sweat you have to pay is not comparable to that of ordinary people, but I also believe that you should come back to see me and others this time, not just to catch up with the past." Aoki, who was still praising Xiao Yang a moment ago, suddenly turned around. There was a wise look in his old eyes. He looked at Xiao Yang with a smile. Since Xiao Yang entered the spirit world, although he looked no different, there was always a trace of doubt in his eyes. I think he was waiting for the right time, so now, Aoki took the initiative to send this opportunity to Xiao Yang. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang couldn't help laughing. Aoki's words relieved him of his hesitation. Although Xiao Yang had thought of many ways and opportunities to speak on his way to the spirit world, as soon as he entered the spirit world, it was clear that the words on his lips could not be spit out. Just now, he was still considering how to speak, but Aoki took the initiative to give this opportunity. In that case, he naturally had nothing to hesitate. "Elder, I really have one thing to ask for when I come to visit the spirit family this time." He bit his teeth. In Aoki's kind eyes, Xiao Yang began to speak. As soon as he said this, Aoki raised his eyebrows. At the same time, Qingfeng, who was taking care of himself and playing nearby, immediately turned his mind and looked at Xiao Yang with a positive face. Then, Xiao Yang continued, "I want to borrow someone from the Shenling family." Borrower? Hearing the speech, Aoki was surprised. With Xiao Yang's cultivation, why should he borrow someone from his Shenling family? Then Xiao Yang told Qingmu about the general situation in the southern region and the upcoming decisive battle between the Burning Valley and the two battles. The latter heard that, he nodded clearly, licked his lips, and narrowed his eyes. So it is. At the same time, Aoki's fingers can't help tapping the table. It seems that he is considering the feasibility of this matter. Xiao Yang is full of sigh. He knows that the reason why the Shenling people stay in this Shenling world is to stay away from the noise of the troubled times outside and let them, because of their own words, risking the risk of exposing the whole Shenling family to support the Burning Valley. This is really a little impractical. But even though he knows it may be such a result, Xiao Yang still hopes to have a try. "Clan leader, excuse me. Brother Xiao Yang has helped my Shenling clan after all. He can be said to be the life-saving benefactor of my clan. Moreover, my Shenling clan has really avoided the world for too long. Instead of hiding like this, I think it's better to fight. Even if my clan identity is exposed at that time, let the world know that I Shenling clan is not easy to provoke." Aside, Qingfeng strided forward and coaxed Qingmu with a defiant face. He also had deep feelings for Xiao Yang. If he could, he would never stand idly by. Moreover, he really yearned for the outside world for a long time. Seeing Qingfeng like this, Xiao Yang also took the initiative to throw a grateful look at the latter. They smiled at each other and focused their eyes on Qingmu. It seemed that they were waiting for his decision. "Hey, you boy, in order to convince me, I said so much. Why, when did I say I would object? Xiao Yang is my benefactor of the spirit clan. I remember this better than you. I can't help others, but as long as Xiao Yang speaks, I must come forward." Then, Qingmu turned his mouth, smiled and scolded angrily. Seeing this, Xiao Yang both laughed happily. Xiao Yang hurriedly got up and bowed to Qingmu in front of him. The old man gently waved his sleeve robe, stood up slowly from his chair, looked at the mountains and forests in the distance, and said slowly, "After so many years, it's also time for those people outside to know that there is my Shenling family on this continent." After that, Xiao Yang and Qingfeng smiled again. The former couldn't help but breathe a long breath. The biggest purpose of this trip has been successfully completed. Then, just wait for the collection of people, maybe it's time to get ready to go back. At Xiao Yang's invitation, Qingmu promised to lend the 32 spirit guards of the Shenling clan to him for the time being, but Qingmu, as the last guardian of the Shenling clan, could not go to the extreme south with him. After all, the Shenling clan still needs someone to guard it all the time. If he can lend the 32 spirit guards to him, it can be regarded as the best of benevolence and righteousness. Xiao Yang is naturally not dissatisfied with this. The 32 spirit guards of the Xunling family have reached the realm of the Source King. Many of them are high-level Source Kings. Such a huge team, put in the past, but more than half of the forces that can sweep the extreme south can lend it to him. Why are you dissatisfied? It's too late to be excited. After borrowing someone, Xiao Yang should naturally go back. I believe that with the help of the 32 spirit guards of the Xunling family, the overall strength of the Burning Valley and the two wars will be greatly increased. At that time, even if the people in the Ghost Hall come forward, the pressure will be greatly reduced. This time, the Xunling clan did Xiao Yang a big favor. When he came alone, he became an army when he left. This scene also surprised many people in the city. However, when Xiao Yang and others were ready to leave the wild ancient city, a slightly familiar energy wave from a distance attracted Xiao Yang's eyes. That's. Aware of the energy fluctuation, Xiao Yang was stunned. After some hesitation, his brain seemed to recall something. As soon as his eyes turned, a smile appeared in the corners of his mouth. What's the matter? Is there anything wrong? Later, when Qingfeng saw Xiao Yang's face showing such a look, he couldn't help asking suspiciously. Together with the people behind him, he was also full of curiosity. Maybe we'll have to delay our return. Xiao Yang smiled and then took the lead to fly away in a direction outside the wild ancient city. In a short moment, this team came to a magnificent mountain. Looking at the towering Weian mountain in front of us, all the people present couldn't help picking their eyebrows and showing some surprise in their eyes. There were thunder clouds entrenched on the mountain, bursts of thunder sounded continuously, and there were thunder around the mountain. It was like a thunder dragon entrenched on it. On the mountain wall, there are 3 big characters with light authority engraved in the seal of the dragon and snake. Mount Grey. And this mountain peak is the entrance to the empty minefield of the wild ancient city. At the beginning, Xiao Yang also used the empty thunder pool of Gulay Mountain to break through his cultivation, but he didn't expect to come here again today, and the cliff contains the 3 big words of Fighting Emperor's authority. Now, in Xiao Yang's eyes, it is also ordinary. The so-called Fighting Emperor's strong has long been a thing of the past many years ago. Whoever thought that Xiao Yang, who was difficult to resist even half of the Emperor's strong in those years, now, it seems to have become such a strong man. The so-called things are right and people are wrong, which is no exaggeration here. Looking up at the mountain in front of him, Xiao Yang smiled brightly. In his mind, he couldn't help recalling the past, especially Guyo. If he hadn't been under his protection, Xiao Yang was afraid it would be difficult to survive. For a long time, when Xiao Yang took back his mind, his eyes focused again on the thunder cloud above his head. I don't know how much his cultivation could be improved if he entered the empty thunder pool again. Looking at this picture on Leishan Mountain, it is obvious that the void thunder pool has not been opened. If it had been changed in the past, even if the thunder pool was opened and there was no void thunder pool paste, Xiao Yang would never have entered it. Of course, it has become the past after all. With Xiao Yang's current cultivation and the help of Void Avenue, it is naturally no problem to enter this void thunder pool. After a simple solicitation, the people of the Xunling family did not intend to enter the empty thunder pool. However, they just withdrew from the long-term cultivation and came out of the Xunling world today. How can they be willing to return to repeated cultivation without doing anything? Therefore, Xiao Yang was the only one who finally entered the thunder pool. In this regard, the latter expressed understanding, but there was nothing to say. The endless cultivation would really make people want to split their mentality. Let alone them, even if they were Xiao Yang, I'm afraid they couldn't bear it. Imagine that Xiao Yang felt very tired during the 3 years of cultivation, not to mention their hard cultivation for more than 10 years or even decades. This time, Xiao Yang directly climbed to the top of Mount Gree and looked at the large thunder clouds above his head. A hot color gradually poured out of his eyes. His heart moved, and the void avenue immediately condensed into a tent in the space in front of him. Under Xiao Yang's control, a special breath also diffused from it. With the slow distortion of the void avenue in the tent, a strange whirlpool also emerged. Seeing this, Xiao Yang smiled with satisfaction and just wanted to step into it. However, the next moment, an accident happened suddenly. Stab! With the sound of a thunder burst, a black thunder suddenly rushed out of the dark tent and rushed towards Xiao Yang like a poisonous snake. The power of the thunder on it reached a particularly terrible level. The sudden changes on the field made many people below change their faces, but Xiao Yang was calm. When the thunder hit, he not only didn't resist, but turned his palm, which suddenly spewed out a raging fire and turned into a huge flame vortex, swallowing the power of the thunder into his body. Then he slowly raised his feet, step into it. Entering the void minefield again, Xiao Yang is a bit familiar with the road. Although he hasn't seen it for many years, his original impression is still in his mind. With today's cultivation, Xiao Yang came to the core of the void minefield in a short moment. There are so many thunders here. As soon as Xiao Yang's body stopped, there were countless thunders around him. They quickly condensed together and rushed into a torrent of thunders, as if they were vowing sovereignty. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help frowning. These thunders are all right, but if they rush forward, he can't solve them easily. Then Xiao Yang bent his fingers and flicked. With the light shining, the body of the North King appeared in front of him instantly, and the front blocked the fierce impact of the force of thunder. From the perspective of Xiao Yang at the moment, all the thunder coming from the front was like sinking into a bottomless abyss. At the moment of touching the body of the North King, it was forcibly absorbed into the North King, then, after its body surface flickered slightly, it was refined by it. The so-called power of thunder is not worth mentioning in front of the North King. Without taking care of the North King, Xiao Yang found a place to sit down at will. After the breath in his body gradually stabilized, he turned to the burning formula skill and began to absorb all the thunder power in the thunder pool. With the operation of the burning dew skill, the thunder force that touched his body was instantly sucked into his body. After the refining of different fire and the operation of the skill root, it turned into a pure energy and merged into the cyclone. At the same time, a huge energy vortex slowly formed in the air above Xiao Yang's head, and the fierce suction spread from it. He began to devour the power of thunder in the thunder pool crazily, and under such continuous devouring and refining, Xiao Yang's breath gradually rose. This video will end here.